So we've got Legends ZA, or ZA if you're British like me, right around the corner. And I thought, you know what, with all these new Megas, Mega evolving all over the place, let's throw some more ideas out there. So really quickly, this is not a spoiler video. I'm only aware of like the Mega Pokemon that have been officially revealed, and I'm not paid attention to leaks. Sorry, I've not even looked at the leaks. So this is not, again, a spoiler of any kind. These are my ideas, and yeah, we're not going to have any leak discussion in this video, or in the comments, please. I don't want to be spoiled, and maybe some other people don't want to be spoiled. Some viewers don't want to be spoiled either. So let's jump straight into this. It's Arbok, which is obviously a Gen 1 Pokemon. I think has a lot of personality and charm. Maybe because I'm biased, because I remember it being part of Team Rocket back in the anime. I think it rides the line of being very simplistic in its design, but not overly simplistic, and kind of cool, as some Gen 1 Pokemon managed to do, others not so much, a bit too simplistic, but Arbok's not one of them. The problem it does have, though, is its stats. Because it's a Gen 1 Mon, it's a bit poo, to put bluntly. So how can we fix Arbok? We're going to give it a Mega Evolution. It does have some pretty interesting moves. Its move pool. It gets like the elemental fangs, Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, Ice Fang. What else does it get? Some other moves as well. Those are not the only 3 moves it learns. But more importantly, it gets Intimidate, which is arguably the best ability in the history of competitive Pokemon, VGC at least. So we're going to build from that. So let's remember that as we're going through this. Arbok in its base form has that Intimidate, and then it's going to be switching up its ability, much like Morwell does into Mega Morwell. It factors into the designs. There are 2 designs, so let's look at them. That's not it. That's Arbok again. Right, we'll edit that one out. Here we go. Here's the first design. There we go. So here's our first Mega Arbok. So a quick overview of what I was going for when I was thinking of this design. I want this Pokemon to be very imposing, you know, incredibly intimidating. On top of the Intimidate we've already got going on, I want it to, yeah, just be imposing and kind of sinister in its appearance. No escape kind of design to it. You know, you won't want to be in front of it. This is the shiny version on your screen now, and it's very. I've chosen my words carefully there. No escape from this Pokemon. So let's talk about it. As we go through, I'm going to reveal the information bit by bit, so you can kind of speculate as to what you think I'm getting at with this design. So first of all, we'll do a little bit of background, because why not? We can go all in. So 17'6". So when we talk about snake Pokemon or serpent Pokemon, the height is actually the length of them. So using my highly accurate, just looking at the official artwork of Arbok, which is like I think like 13 foot. I think this Pokemon in its Mega Evolution at this height should stand about 7 foot tall from its belly to the tip of its head. So a nice, again, overbearing kind of height there. Its weight is not a reference to anything. It's just kind of a again, sinister looking number. 2 6s, one 6 missing. 1 6 short of the 3, but there's a 13 in there instead. You know, everyone's favourite unlucky number. And category, the Sinister Snake Pokemon. Before you get at me and tell me that when a Mega Pokemon evolves, its category doesn't change, I know, but I'm having fun with it, and it helps me illustrate the design we've got going on. So typing, what do you think the typing is? It's the most common typing for Mega Arbok that I see online, and that is, of course, Poison Dark, which makes a ton of sense. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, the ability. I think I bring up the stats next. I forget. Let's have a look. Oh, it's the ability. Arena Trap is the ability. The poor man's Shadow Tag. But again, it ties into the design. I can't think of any ability that's better than this. Quick side note. I saw this mentioned like as an idea. What would have been around 10 years ago now. No, more than 10 years ago. XY was longer than 10 years ago. I saw like a journalist that was writing up an article on Pokemon. He was like, "Oh, Mega Arbok should get Arena Trap," and I was like, "That's a genius idea." It's popped into my mind several times a year since then, to the point where I'm finally making a video out of it and don't have to have it in my head anymore. Don't have to take up my brain capacity. So again, like I said, no escape from this Pokemon. It intimidates, it Mega Evolves, and then you're trapped unless you can fly or you're levitating or you're a ghost. But I think it's the perfect ability for this Mega. Here are the stats. So, of course, HP, we can't change that. But Attack goes up to 145, so an increase of 50. Defense goes up to 89, an increase of 20. Special attack remains the same. Special defense goes up to 89, so an increase of 10. And speed goes up to 100, an increase of 20. Would like to go slightly faster, but I think you probably get them to lower the attack then. And I want it to have high attack. So this is what we've what I've cooked up. I think it's quite a nice stat spread. Again, powerful, decentish bulk. Especially once you factor in the Intimidate. And yeah, speed, base 100. So it's a bit crowded around there, but I don't think it's terrible. So the typing, of course, only one weakness in ground. Key resistances, poison, grass, ghost is the big one, and dark type as well. Ghost, of course, a really great offensive typing. So that's quite a nice resistance to have. But of course, the key thing, why this subtyping of dark is chosen for Mega Arbok so often, immunity to psychic. So turning that psychic weakness into a full-on immunity. So you put a psychic type Pokemon opposite Arbok, you're going to have to be thinking about, oh, what if it Mega Evolves though? Could be into some real big trouble getting those tables turned. Let's talk about the notable moves. So these are moves that Arbok already has access to. We've got Coil, which I think is a great boosting move on a Pokemon like this that can debilitate with Intimidate and then trap Pokemon. So it can set up on them with Coil, increasing the attack, defense, and accuracy. In particular, the attack and accuracy play into, of course, Gunk Shot. So you've got a really powerful stab move there that you make it unable to miss off a base 145 attack. Those elemental fangs that I mentioned, Crunch and Throat Chop, basically the same thing but with different secondary effects. Sucker Punch, so we don't have to worry about speed, we can just start going for priority moves. Dragon Tail, which I think is a really interesting inclusion for a Pokemon that can trap Pokemon in and then choose to have them phase out and trap something else instead. So someone tries to get a bit cheeky, thinking they're safe with their flying type opposite Arbok, we'll just Dragon Tail that out and pull out a grounded Pokemon from the back. Glare, of course, a great move. Guaranteed paralysis, can't miss. Breaking Swipe and Snarl, further debilitation, and Leech Life, which I think is a really interesting move on a Pokemon like this, which again can boost up its attack and then get some healing back. But there are some new additions as well. Here we go. Dragon Dance. I'm sure you've seen videos of snake charmers, and yeah, those snakes, they're dancing along to those tunes. So Dragon Dance, why not? Let's go in further with a signature move in Caustic Fang. So whenever I see like a Mega Pokemon concept online, they almost always have a broken signature move and or ability, and I roll my eyes so hard. And here we go, my first ever video of this, I've thrown one in, but it's justified. Let's talk about this move. What does this move Caustic Fang do? So, poison type, physical move, base power 70, which is pretty low. However, that's a clue. There's another move that I took inspiration from. It's also base 70. Base 70 for a very good reason. 100% accurate and has an effect of some kind as well, which is a 30% effect rate. Have a guess. What do you think it is? Well, let's talk about it. So, the user bites with fangs soaked in searing venom. This may also leave the target badly poisoned or burned. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a move that has two secondary effects. Burn, the ability to burn on a non-fire move. Incredible. Beautiful. Give it to Arbok. That's it, that's the effect rate. But again, why is the base power so low? Oh yeah, almost forgot. Oh, this move is super effective on steel types. We've done it. Pack it up, we're done here. Video over. Game Freak, Nintendo, you can employ me. You can take this idea and then watch my videos carefully and employ me based on those ideas. Yeah, we've done it. There we go. Zacian wants a time machine. It wants to stay back in the Sword and Shield era. Yeah, 4 times super effective there. Unfortunately, Klefki, Tinkerton, Mawile, they are the catching strays. Unfortunately, I mean, Mega Mawile is a legit threat, to be fair, in a meta where Megas exist. But yeah, there we go. Signature move. I think it's fine. I think it's fine on a Pokemon like Arbok. Again, we're trying to turn it into something of a threat, so we're going in with it. Quick look at a couple of movesets of VGC. One thing I didn't mention, it does get Toxic Spikes as well. So if you are a singles player, I think that's something that gets used sometimes. So first set, Protect. And then we've got either Dragon Dance or Dragon Tail with Caustic Fang and Knockoff. So Dragon Dance, we can dance up, get big damage off with that Knockoff. And Steel types, they don't want none of it either with the Caustic Fang. Or you've got the Dragon Tail route, which is trap the opponent in, knock off their items, get them burned or poisoned, phase them out for the next Pokemon to get this item knocked off as well. So it's quite a nice idea. And the second set, again Protect, is the Coil set. So Protect, the boosting move, Gunk Shot is now 100% accurate and boosted in power, and then Sucker Punch either for strong priority or Leech Life for some recovery as well. So that's the first design. Let me know what you think. Let's have a look at the second design. So both of these designs, I want them to be very distinct. Here is the second one. There we go. So apologies to the artist that I commissioned for these. Apologies to any artist watching this as well, because originally that kind of like ghostly apparition thing that you can clearly tell is not of the same standard, not of the same quality as the rest of the image, was something I added after the fact, because it was only after I got everything back and I paid for it, I was like, oh, you know what? I did some reading and I was like, oh, you know what? This could be a different typing than what I was going for. And I was like, how can I visualize this new typing that I want to give this Pokemon? So originally I was thinking like Poison Dragon, and then I went to Poison Steel, and then I feel like both of those could work. I think that Poison Dragon, I think it needs probably more visual cues there. So it's neither of those two types. Here's a shiny version as well, which is a callback to Shiny Arbok in its base form as well. So yeah, we've gone for the like the King Cobra, King Cobra kind of aesthetic as a pharaoh. Pharaohs were kings, of course, and snakes very prominent in ancient Egyptian. What's the word I'm looking for? Things like headdresses, hieroglyphics, an important cultural symbol from what I've read online. Multiple snakes for multiple reasons. Snakes representing life and living, and also death and funerals. So you can probably guess where this is going. Let's talk about this Mega Arbok. So 13'3", only slightly bigger than regular Arbok, and a reference to the year King Ramses was born. So there we go. 1303 BC, I believe. I'm not a historian though, so maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I got my facts wrong. But anyway, nice to have these little tidbits in there, if they're true. Not particularly heavy, around 80 kgs. Again, it shouldn't be massive and imposing. That's the other design's job. And it is the King Cobra of Pokemon. So what typing are we going for? You can probably tell based on what I've said and based on the design. Is Poison Ghost. For those of you that have keen eyes, I forgot to mention, you probably would have noticed that floating kind of apparition design, that ghostly visage behind Arbok, is of course its Cantonian pattern on its hood. Cantonian hood pattern. Rearrange those words in the way that makes sense. That's what we've got going on there. I still wanted to incorporate that into the design somehow. And I think now it looks like a ghost type. It looks like a poison ghost type. The ability, I should have led up into this, it's Earth Eater. we've gone in on this one. No signature move on this one, but we are going in with Earth Eater. Again, Arbok, it's not great in terms of its stats. We're giving it all the help we can get. I mean, Gengar had Levitate. I remember back when Gengar had Levitate for the longest time. It was fine with the ground immunity. So why have I gone for Earth Eater, as I've just put the stats up on the screen? I'm looking at it kind of from the perspective of like, how can you interpret what Earth Eater means? Like Land Conqueror, like a king, works for me. That's all the justification I need. So the stats, again, HP stays the same. Attack stays the same. I would love to lower the attack, but it's not really a precedent that's been set up until this point, so I'm not going to lower any of the stats yet for Mega Evolutions. Defense goes up to 94, an increase of 25. Special attack, a huge increase of 40 from 65. An original special attack solo that even with an increase of 40, it's still very mediocre at 105. Special defense goes up to 89, so I boosted plus 10. And speed, 105, so not super fast, but above that. I would say key base 100 bit, as that's not been key for years now. They've completely just messed up what it meant to be a fast Pokemon. But yeah, 105. So a special attacker, completely opposite of the previous one. Not really something you'd use Arbok for at all, but we're making it work here, and here's how we're going to make it work. So again, the weaknesses: ground, psychic, ghost, dark. Quad resists poison and bug, and grass and fairy regular resist, immunities to normal and fighting. But of course, with that ability, Earth Eater, ground goes from becoming a weakness to an immunity, to more than an immunity, a healing move, unless we're facing down Excadrill or something else with Mold Breaker, in which case it's still a weakness. Let's look at the notable moves. So, of course, Sludge Bomb, special poison move. Dark Pulse, so it has an option to hit opposing ghosts and psychic types, super effective damage. Snarl for further debilitation. Again, remember we've got that initial Intimidate to work off of as well. Giga Drain in an interesting healing move, something that Volcarona gets as a Pokemon that isn't grass type but can use fairly effectively. And Glare again for a really nice move in guaranteed paralysis. Now, new additions, again, I said no signature moves, but we've got a ton of new additions, and let's kick it off with the Quiver Dance. We've had Dragon Dance, we can totally put in Quiver Dance as well. So that's how we're making Arbok, Mega Arbok, a potent threat as a special attacker. So you can see, yeah, we've got going back to the stats, we've got an increased base defense, we've got potential Intimidate on the opposing Pokemon as well. We've got a slightly boosted special defense, and of course boosting to special attack and speed to decent levels as well. And then those last three all get a great boost off of Quiver Dance as well. And then we just go from there. We go the snake goes ham from there. Other moves it should get: Shadow Ball and Bitter Malice as Ghost Stabs. Bitter Malice, Hisuian Zoroark, signature move, but I think it works. You know, Bitter Malice and Curse, put those two together. They Pharaoh's Curse and all that. You know, I think it works thematically. Earth Power, because when I think of Pharaohs, I think of ground type Pokemon. When you think of Pharaohs, you know, ancient Egypt desert and stuff, you know, makes sense to me. Earth Power, get that in there. Flash Cannon, Steel Beam, because we've got that bling bling going on. Speaking of bling bling, Dazzling Gleam, so we can hit them dark types that we're now weak to as well. Morning Sun for some recovery. Speaking of recovery, Strength Sap. Let's get that life force drained. I think these thematically make a lot of sense, and yeah, I think it's quite a unique concept for Mega Arbok. So let's look at the movesets again. 2 movesets for VGC. Again, Protect. It's going to be on all my movesets pretty much. Quiver Dance. Then we're going to go with a Ghost Stab. Probably Shadow Ball if you're going to go for damage over Bitter Malice. And then either Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Giga Drain, or Dazzling Gleam. Of course, Sludge Bomb is the stab. Earth Power is just too good though. It's hard to turn down an Earth Power with the coverage you get there. But all of these moves have merit, and in the second set, we don't go for Protect. It's Quiver Dance without Protect. Strength Sap, so we get some real healing back at the cost of dealing no damage, and then Ghost Stab, and then one of those remaining moves again. Probably Earth Power, but not necessarily. It has options. So there we go. Those were my Mega Arboks. Let me know what you think. Which design did you like more? Did you like either of the designs? Were they absolute just poo? Did I not cook? Let me know. Or what would you change? Do you have any ideas yourself? Thanks for watching. I might do more videos like this in future. I have a bit of free time now, and you know the itch has come back. And I quite enjoyed making this video, conceptualizing these ideas, and yeah, I'm sure I'll catch you guys in the next video very soon. Do consider subscribing, all that good stuff, and hopefully I will catch you in that next one. You take care.